Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, and welcome to this episode of our podcast. And we're here today with Ursula and Gregory. And welcome. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I am Ursula Echeverria. I am a Guatemalan filmmaker. I specialize into the animation. And yeah, I've been doing this since 2020.
I'm Gregory Kasunich. I'm a filmmaker, writer, producer. I've come on to help Ursula and her film Burbujillo on the film festival circuit, kind of shine a light on the great work that she's done. My background is a little bit in animation. I spent several years working at DreamWorks on projects like How to Train Your Dragon, and have since then gone into work in commercials and live action and a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, I'm here just to support Ursula and talk about what I love about the film and what makes her great.
All right. So when did you decide you wanted to be filmmakers? When did that first hit? Was that like a lifelong dream or a little bit older? When did it come out?
I didn't know I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was like finding where to study here in Guatemala, and I guess what moved me a lot was like graphic design, because what's the closest thing in art. And then I realized that what I loved about that was like some last year, senior years or something like that, they did some like puppets, and I don't know, they did puppets and I just loved it. And when I graduated, I was like, okay, I really want to do animation and start looking for that. And then I actually didn't know the whole world it involved. So I started to look into like keep studying, and then I just graduated in 2020 in animation, character animation from CalArts. So I guess that's like how I get into it.
Okay. Hey, Gregory?
Yeah, I think mine's been sort of a lifelong pursuit. I've always been writing, and I started doing photography and working in theater, and filmmaking sort of was one of those things that combined all of that, film and writing and acting and stagecraft and things like that. And so yeah, since a young age, I've been doing it, did it all through college and started working professionally right out of school. So lifelong pursuit, and still doing it today.
Okay, great. So when your friends and family, when you said, I'm going to be an animator, or I'm going to be a filmmaker, what did your friends and family say? Did your family go, oh no, get a degree in engineering or something? What was their reaction?
I guess most of them didn't approve because I had to move with my family and relocate to California with no really close relatives there. So it was kind of like a hard thing to do because we are like very, I don't know, very family oriented overall. So it was a very challenging but amazing experience. I guess they did it by heart, but it was just hard to accept, maybe.
Well, you're very good at it, so that helps. I think. I think everybody in my life has been very supportive. I've always hedged my bets. So in school I studied theology and philosophy and business and things like that outside of filmmaking. And I think my parents wanted me to go into engineering at one point. I almost went to CMU in Pittsburgh for robotic engineering, and kind of took a left turn into film because I knew that's where my passion was. But I think everyone in my life's been really supportive, so I'm very lucky about that.
Okay, good. I guess you're both in LA. So my next question is, do you have a group? Oh, no, you're not in LA, Ursula?
No.
Are you still in Guatemala?
Yes.
Okay.
After like during the pandemic, I had to move back here. So
Okay.
yeah, I have my support group back in
That's what I
LA.
was saying. I said to have a support group.
Yeah.
Your tribe. You have your tribe someplace.
Yes. We
That's-
gather, and sometimes we just like go to draw or just go to watch movies, or literally just talk about films.
Okay, and Gregory, I'm sure you have yours if you work for DreamWorks and stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been here for more years than I want to admit, and I've been able to build a really nice community, and even people like Ursula, traveling globally and working all over the world. I've met filmmakers and collaborators all over, so it's really cool to have that global community, and the fact that Ursula is in Guatemala, but we'll meet up in a film festival in Texas or jump on a Zoom for a festival in New York. It's really cool.
All right, so what made you decide to make this film? Like, of everything you were looking at, so why did this film was the one that became live, that you gave birth to?
Okay, so this was a very difficult moment. It was literally started the pandemic, and my family just went back to Guatemala, and I was alone with my just friends in LA. So I was feeling for the first time like very, very sad and lonely. So, and I had my little one at that moment. He was like almost 2 years, and I guess he was the more like, it was my baby, and I was so far apart from him, and I couldn't leave because everybody was shut down, and it was literally very stressing moment. So I guess I just needed to talk about it and to talk about him, and I realized that I haven't seen, because when you're pregnant, you follow these apps that tell you how your baby is developing and all the stages he goes through and stuff, and like all that part, right? And I just realized that I haven't seen anything like that artistically, just very scientifically.
Okay. I guess, how did you get involved, Gregory?
So Ursula and I actually started working on a completely different project together. I was a fan of her work. I saw one of her pieces at a showcase. I forget exactly how we originally got introduced. I think I just yeah, and I was just a massive fan of her style and her work, and we got to talking, and I said, hey, I have this project I'm developing. It's about a mother and daughter, and she's like very interested. And so we did some biz dev on that, and I was like, what else are you working on? And she showed me Burbujillo, and I was like, this is absolutely incredible. And it was, mostly done by the time I came on board. And really, I just was like, I want to shine a light on what you're doing. I want to use my network to help raise your voice and get eyes on this. And I'm just a supporter and fan of hers, and now also a collaborator. So that's how we're kind of got into it together.
What was the hardest part, and what was the most fun part of this project?
I guess like literally having to work on something that makes you feel sad. That was the hard part, because sometimes you just only want to do nothing, and sometimes you just feel very inspired and like you just want to do everything at the same time. So maybe it was just like dealing with emotions of it. And the most fun part is like exploring, because at the end I had to like show like different environments, different places that are not real, and how you can translate that in something beautiful and different, but at the same, it has to evoke that specific moment and that specific place, So I feel like just literally the exploration was very, very fun.
Yeah, for me, it's just learning how to pronounce everything properly. It's definitely the hardest part. Ursula helps me out. And the most rewarding, most fun is definitely showing it to an audience, sitting there and watching people respond to it, ask questions about it. It's been really cool and rewarding to see that.
All right. In the indie world, what would you consider success? Like what can you point to and say that's success in the indie film world?
It's twofold. One, it's completing something the way that you intended to complete it, right? So the fact that you are indie and you don't have people who are providing, let's say, tons of money to you and telling you how to do it. You're not beholden to a release date. You're not beholden to a marketing team, right? You're able to make your art on your terms, even if it's slow, even if it's compromised, in certain ways. It's yours and you own it, and that's massively successful, that you're putting something out into the world. And the other half of that is the putting it out into the world. For me, like the thing that you get as an indie filmmaker once you complete something is the ability to take it out and show it to people. And if you submit to film festivals, I always say you should go, you should participate, you should meet the filmmakers, you should see what your peers are making on shoestring budgets and what their voice is and what they have to say. And that's the massive reward, is every time you make something, you get to then take it out into the world, share it, and then have that entire experience around the festival circuit. So that's success to me, the ability to keep making it.
Yeah, you are so right about that, Gregory. You just made me think about and realize that. I actually wasn't expecting this film to have this, I don't know, this acceptance, because my first few films were like, yeah, they're okay, they get it. Like, I literally submit them to like 50 or something film festivals, and they literally go just one or two, something like that. And when this started to get this like so good entrance and acceptance, I'm like, what is this reality?
You found that rewarding?
Yes, I mean, I wasn't expecting, I didn't do it for someone to like it. I just did what I like. And literally, as Gregory said, I just follow whatever I feel was right without expecting someone else to like it. So I feel like it's very rewarding than that people out there is just like literally talking about it in a very good terms.
That's great. Yep. So your little nephew Mike comes over and goes, "Hi, I'm 12 years old and I want to make a movie." What would you say? Either one of you or both of you.
Make it. Literally, I feel like kids are very, very creative in a different ways. Maybe the final thing that they get is not like as pretty as they want, but just having that energy, and they say, I can do it. Sometimes we miss that as an adult.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people give the same advice, which is like, you have an iPhone, go get your friends, go start doing stuff, which is all true. But I would say, like, be as a fan of media, of television and film and cinema, start emulating your heroes. That's what I would recommend. I would say, like, if you really love Marvel movies, great. Go look at a sequence in a Marvel movie, then take your iPhone and try to recreate it. Because that's how you become proficient in the language of cinema, is to just emulate your heroes. And then eventually from that, you'll start to develop your own voice and say, well, actually, if I were to do it, I would have put the camera here. But start by just looking at what you love and trying to make that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Fan films are great. Just trying to do your own version of James Bond, or Indiana Jones, which is what I did when I was a kid. That stuff can be really, a really fun and easy way to enter into it, and then you'll develop your voice from there. That's it for my questions. Is there anything you want to say? Any conversation? Any last minute thoughts?
Oh, just thank you for having us here. This was amazing.
Sure. No. Thanks.